Hi, this is James Sato. Welcome to episode 8. We've decided to do this episode in 2 parts because if we didn't, the running time would be about 3.5 hours. Plus, we wanted to get our interview with Russell Jeffrey Banks up as soon as possible due to time sensitivity issues, as his new film is going to be released July 3rd. Keep an eye out for part 2, wherein Terry and I interviewed James Shelley from Prairie Ghost Investigations in our regular format. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers. Enjoy.
You did this!
What does it feel like to kill someone?
Joining us now from London, England, is Russell Jeffrey Banks, the star and one of the co-writers of the film that you just saw the trailer of, Who's Watching Oliver? Russell, welcome.
Hello, welcome guys. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, well, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here, having just watched Who's Watching Oliver.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about the filming.
Yeah,
a little bit about pre, post, all that.
Okay, so originally myself, Richie Moore, the director, and then Raymond Huber, the producer and co-director, we all sat down and wrote Who's Watching Oliver. We were, all three of us were based in Thailand at the time, but I've worked with both of them on previous projects in the past. Yeah, and then we sat down, we wrote it. I came back to England, and then the script got the go-ahead, and then I came back out to Thailand. Yeah, it was a different film. It's not been like yeah, it was a dark one. It was dark. That's how I'd say.
Well, it's fairly dark, yes.
Yeah, I would suggest it is. I was just curious, Russell. You shot it in Thailand.
Yeah.
Is that because the English horror market and everything is different, or is it just a motivational thing?
No, 3 reasons for that. One, well, a few reasons. One, because we were based out I was based in Thailand, and so was Raymond and Richie. Like all of us, we travel back and forward. But I've been living. I was living. I'm now moved back to England, but I was based in Asia for quite a while, so it's more practicality. And then, it's a low budget, so the money goes a lot further. That's another reason. And yeah, and we just, we thought when we was writing it, we had different ideas where we could shoot it. And then, yeah, we decided that we'd go with Asia just to make him stand out that little bit more, make the backgrounds, the markets, all that. It's just gives you much more isolated feel as such. Like, makes you feel like it's him out in the middle of nowhere a little bit more. So yeah, that's the main reasons, but also because I was based there.
I agree on that, because some of the photography in that was like wonderful. Some of the sights and the cinematography was cool, and I love the soundtrack. Like, it was so different from a picture.
So yeah, no, I love it. Actually, so it's funny when we was first talking again. So you hear me say, obviously, everybody's heard of, like, in all the interviews and everything, we're always, everybody knows, like, Richie directed it. But Raymond Huber, he was also, like, the unsung hero as such. So, and yeah, with the sound, that was his call. Originally, I didn't want it. Originally, I was like, no, I had a different idea, but yeah, then he was playing some of the songs that he had in mind, and it just worked. And then Alex Boyesson, he done the sound for the film. Amazing, really amazing throughout, and he also had input with the sound, with the song choice, but the sound, Alex Boyesson, he smashed the sound.
Now, did he do Foley?
Yeah, he had. I'm gonna lie, I have no idea what he had going on. He had a million. He's like a little Einstein with a million different contraptions and mics that I've never seen before. Like I think we had about eight channels on once, which I've never seen on a film before. Like
Well, I really wanted to, from a production standpoint, congratulate your Foley artist, because some of those sound effects were
sound effects. That's Alex Boyesson.
Yeah, I mean, some of the gore sound effects were quite convincing, and you don't often see that.
Or hear it.
Thank you.
Or hear it. Yeah, you don't often hear it.
Well, that was another thing. It's funny because I'm reading, like, a lot of people are saying how gory we are, but if you actually watch, it's a lot more sound than it is what you're seeing. And that's like. We originally said that at the beginning, like we didn't want to, we'd go with our constraints and try and make it scary. And plus we're all horror fans, and I like the real old 60s, 50s, 40s horrors where it is sound what scares you,
Mm-hmm.
So we went with that method a bit.
Well, that harks back to like old time radio and stuff like that, where the sound provokes your imagination.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Hammer Films, our Hammer Films fan here, me and everything.
Yeah.
You were in the 60s and such. Yeah, they used sound, they used music, the thunderous full orchestra. Yeah.
So I got to see two sides of you. I watched Pernicious last night.
Okay, yeah.
So I've seen you on both sides of the blade, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was shot in Thailand, I presume.
Yeah, no, that was, Pernicious, Cam to Cam, Ghost House, and Who's Watching Oliver. They were all shot in Thailand.
Right. Have you ever been to Canada at all?
No, I want to. No, I want to go everywhere. Sorry.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, you can swear. You can do whatever you want.
Do you know what is it? No, it's my worst habit. Especially if ever I get nervous, I start to swear more. So if you start to hear me swearing, that's like my tell.
Oh well, don't worry about it. We swear on the show all the time. It's not an issue. And plus, you're British, so I mean, I have a friend who's a Yorkshireman who has one of the foulest mouths you've ever seen. But
no, I'd love to go to Canada. Never been up. Yeah, really would love to go there. And they've been actually. It's funny. So when we first started getting press through Who's Watching Oliver, it was originally the Canadian film festivals that gave us best picture at a few of them, like Vancouver, Badass. There's about 3 or 4 which was super kind to us, and then there's a Canadian woman. Jesus, right. So I tell you what else has been happening, because I'm been doing a lot of the PR with Who's Watching Oliver. Now my brain is a sieve for names. And the last year, I'm just speaking to so many people that I can never remember names. But Nadine, I forgot her surname, but yeah, she really helped us in Canada. And the Canadians with the film, they've been a super help, man. They dug it, and we would they gave us a push, what we needed.
Good.
When you were writing Oliver, how many drafts did it go through on that? Was there a process you did, or?
A few drafts. It wasn't too many drafts. The process was, so me, Richie and Ray would sit, and then we'd write it, and then all of us had different parts. There's like, for instance, if you look at the mama stuff, that's all Raymond. But like literally any of mama, anything she says, that was Raymond. With the dream stuff, that was me. I wrote the dream stuff. That was my thing. So we all had different parts. So it really is. It's like 3 different people's opinions or ideas going in at once, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say whoever does Mother's dialogue was particularly nasty.
Right. Yeah. No, that was all. Yeah, Mum. But yeah, no. So originally, I came to Richie first because I knew I wanted to do a serial killer film with me playing the serial killer. After Cam to Cam, I wanted another try at it as such. But then I was thinking much more like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer style, a lot more. And yeah, then when we was writing it again, that was Ray. Ray had the idea for originally. So originally he was saying about the look wise, which was more like Marty McFly mixed like that old attire and that type of look. And then he said about it a character which is more like Marty McFly mixed with Forrest Gump, where it's somebody who you can really start to, and then from that point on, when we decided to go in that direction, then everything changed in the script.
I thought,
Your portrayal reminded me of sort of like Tim Roth's nerdy brother.
I love Tim Roth.
Well, you must get that comparison all the time because on screen you do resemble Tim Roth.
Yeah, I'd take that any day of the week. I'm a massive Tim Roth fan.
I thought you had a little Britain look in there too.
Yeah.
Like with the mouth open and everything, and I thought.
And you know, actually, like, yeah. So then, once we established what Oliver was going to look like, then we really went. Then a lot of hard work started to come in. You know, the fact is, Oliver. See, when I played him, I always played him as a victim. That's even though he's the serial killer, in my mind, I was always playing him as a victim. You know, and then in my head, this is somebody who's been mentally and physically abused his whole life. So then, from that point, me, Rich, and Ray, we sat and watched about must be 100 documentaries on serial killers, on different psychology, abuse victims, all different types of things, and then people the effects what it would have on people as such, and yeah, then we started to play around with everything a bit, like the character, and then yeah, and then it was then the Oliver we saw mixed with a whole load of baggage and anything bad I could drag up to make me feel fucked up.
Well, you know, it's funny because you do feel for Oliver as you watch the film, because you know there is that understanding of what he's been through.
Yeah, particularly in the later parts, the later scenes and everything, towards the end. You know, when he does get victimized to an extent, and
and I mean, obviously, you know, it's how you see the character. Like, obviously, when people watch it, they're going to see different things and they're going to make their own choice. But certainly, as I was playing it, that's more what I was focusing on, is the mindset of somebody who's been bullied his whole life, and you know, is at breaking point. He's kind of already robotic in the nighttime hours. It's he's under control. In the daytime hours, it's this little, you know, breakaway before it all starts again every night. And yeah.
The only question that lingers in my mind is Oliver always seemed to have money, and you never given any insight into, you know, what Oliver actually does. You know, but
well, see, that would be in our mindset. It would have been you would have been thinking that the mother would have been the one supplying the money so on. And sending him off, and you know, it's her boy she's every part of control of, and she has money, and this is the way our little backstory, that she would have had money as such, and she would have maybe have got money through husbands or whichever way. But yeah, she would have been.
I saw it as like he's almost been ghettoized where he is, because he's been sort of sent to that little room, gets all his drugs supplied,
Yeah.
those little things, and his mom sends him the money, keeps him there, lets him do his thing, and is just happy that he's alive and not has not found out.
Well, yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly that. And he's still in prison, he's still in that prison, which, and if people can watch and then they can say, oh, well, you can just leave at any time. But if somebody's trapped into that, maybe he can't. So yeah, that's a very much a trapped soul who's doing very bad things because he's being told to, and doesn't have a habit to pull away from them.
The actor, the female actor who played your mom in another picture, didn't she? What was it, the King Arthur?
No, that was Sarah.
Oh,
Funny enough, yeah.
We've got a freeze in London. There we go.
There we are.
You're freezing up a little bit, Russell. It'll come back.
Yeah. We're good.
It's terribly hard to discuss this without spoilers,
Yeah. I wouldn't want to. Well,
no, we don't want to spoil it. Well, particularly since the film doesn't get released until July. So.
Yeah. So.
But while we're waiting for Russell to unfreeze, Who's Watching Oliver is a highly recommended horror film. The horror fan in me enjoyed it. The filmmaker in me enjoyed it. It's a roller coaster ride.
There's some interesting things about it too. There's the good use of tech in it. Yeah, he's going to come back in a minute or something. Yep. Probably just taking a break, having a stretch, grabbing a tea or something.
Your audio is again not great.
Down? Yeah. I don't know why. I think this is the fact that it's free. So, but that's okay. But there's a good use of tech in this film. Like there's a lot of computer use. He uses, he has to use the video conferencing to talk to his mom all the time.
Yep.
And, soundtrack really cool, like a jazzy soundtrack, some swing and everything. Like wow, and good use of location too.
And good effects. What gore you do see is very well done, and not that it's not gory, it's gory, but I mean it's quite well done.
I did take a spin through Pernicious too yesterday, and Cam to Cam before that. It was.
Oh, here's Russell.
Oh, there he is. He's back. British Telecom strikes again.
Yeah,
it happens.
Much sorry about that.
No, I asked you about the female actor before. She had played something.
Yeah, it was actually Sophia who I fall in love with and Who's Watching Oliver. She played my mum in the King Arthur. A wacky one. Even though I think I'm a bit older than her. Yeah, but it was a magical thing, so it worked.
The mum kind of reminded me of some of the quintessential British Coronation Street mums.
Yeah. No, and Margaret is so different to that. Margaret Roche, she's the nicest, sweetest, not old, but older woman you'll ever meet. And just completely so different in that film, so different. You literally, if you put her in the room now and got her to speak to you, you wouldn't recognize her. And then all of a sudden she turns into this and she's never done a film before. That was her first film.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because, that's why they call it acting.
I thought she was, when I first saw her face, I thought she was there was a British film made in '64 called A Touch of Honey. And there was a female actor in there who played this woman, and she looked exactly like her. And I thought,
Yeah.
is this the same woman? Because no, but if she's just starting out, like, wow.
Yeah, like,
You know?
yeah, that was her first like big act, like proper full-on acting role. Yeah, yeah, she done great.
Did you have any kind of a background in mind for the mother? Because I noticed in some of the scenes, in the background in Mother's room there, you could see like a picture of like a beauty queen.
Yeah, there's some hidden Easter eggs with the pictures if ever you go back and have a little look.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few little. I'm not going to give them away, but maybe I think there's some little things with pictures that people can see. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I kind of picked up
one. Oh, go ahead, Jim. Yeah.
Oh, I picked up on that one really quickly. And then you start doing the psychological evaluation of that and go, yeah, okay, that fits perfectly. If that's what you think it is. It explains the bitterness and resentment.
Yeah.
While you were gone, I was just telling Terry it's so hard to even discuss this without spoilers, because you really want to.
Yeah, same. It's hard. It is hard to go through everyone and just without saying what's going to happen at the end or certain bits, but I'm sure people won't mind a little.
So, according to your IMDb, you've traveled a very colorful road to get where you are today.
Yeah, kind of. I started out on film sets, film-wise. I mean, I left school at 15, expelled, when I was younger.
Me too.
Yeah. And then after that, I was doing a million other different jobs. Always wanted to do, I've always been a massive film lover. So it was either acting or filmmaking, and I always wanted to do one of them. And then when I originally went to Thailand, I started to do stand-in because I couldn't afford to do acting classes. So I thought, Jesus, I want to get on a film set. I found out that they made films in Thailand. So I did some stand-in jobs, which, it was amazing. It was the best just for learning on set of great people. Like I did the stand-in on Street Fighter 2 first for Neil McDonough, but then I got to meet Michael Clark Duncan and Kristen Crook and then Hangover 2, Shanghai with John Cusack and that. So it was just great to watch these guys act, and everybody was super nice. That's what people, James Van Der Beek, I did the stand-in for him, and I think for a year after he sent me some like emails with tips for acting. Just people were really nice. And then while I was doing that, I was trying to get little parts. I did a million extra jobs. Went over to India to shoot a couple of films, which I'd got parts in. And then after I went back to study when I had some money. Then I went to the Method Acting Centre in London and studied. But yeah, before then it was, I'm still learning every film. It's like,
Well,
step by step.
Continuing evolution in all areas of filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm doing editing now, and I'm learning something every time that I do it.
Exactly.
A friend of mine said every producer should be an editor. So.
No, definitely. It was funny after Ghost House, and I loved working on Ghost House. But like after that film, I went straight back and studied with like my pay and that. I went and studied for 6 months straight after that, before we shot Oliver, just because I was working with Scout Taylor Compton and James Landry Herbert, and I was on set, and I wasn't so happy with my performance as such. Just next to those guys, when I found myself, I was watching them acting scenes rather than acting myself at certain points. So then, So then after that, I went back and studied, and then we made Oliver, and here we are.
Great. Yeah. Here you are on Sinister Inclinations, you lucky devil.
No, do you know what? I appreciate being on, really do.
It's
Yeah,
something.
well, it's well, again, it's our pleasure to have you. I mean, as podcasters, we like to give exposure to, really worthy projects. And
Thank you, man.
so that I review zombie films. I do a lot of that stuff. So I get screeners all the time. And
Yeah.
so you get a little bit jaded.
Mm.
But, this one was a real pleasure. And
Thank you. Thank you.
And then now I have to go back and watch all your other work. So, that's
I did watch Cam to Cam a while ago too. And everything. And Pernicious.
That was, do you know, actually that's where I met Ray. I knew Ray before, but that Ray was a producer on that film.
Yeah.
And that was great, man. I love being on that film. Joel Swazon, I don't know if you've ever spoke to him before or
No.
that. Such a great guy. Real pleasure. Actually, on that film, there was like so many great people on that film. Do you know when you do a movie and it was and to me that was like my first big role as such, and I was shitting myself. Oh, so scared. The first day, honestly, the first day I went in on set, I went to Raymond, who was who I kind of already knew because I'd worked with him on Dragon Wolf before that, but not, that was only a small part, as like just a 1 day, 1 or 2 days. But yeah, I turned up on set, and then I just I told Joel and Raymond, I looked at him and I was like, fucking shit myself, so scared. And they were cool, man. They were nice and calmed me down, and yeah, it was nice. Everybody was nice. Sarah, working with a French girl, Sarah Bonaparte, amazing actress. Really nice. Tammin Sursop, Jade, everybody on that film. It was that one was a special one. Do you know when you have a special movie just because it was like the first role that I got, a good role, which I was like buzzed on. And,
yeah, you absolutely like those scenes with you in the chair and stuff and everything. You have to have an element of trust with who you're with in the scene, and you have to let them do things. And
yeah, that was on that was Pernicious, with Emily. Yeah, that was fun as well.
Yeah, Cam to Cam, I thought, all these films sort of have a technical aspect to them. There's a dependence on computer and everything, which is really cool, which is pretty well brings it up to today and everything, which is a good it was not something that was just tossed in a picture like Brain Scan or something like that.
Yeah.
No,
well, with that, let's take a short break and we'll return momentarily.
So this is Thailand.
It looks amazing.
This is going to be an unforgettable experience. Guys, look at this.
Whoa.
So girls, what's the plan for tonight, huh?
Yeah, we'll dance, we'll drink, make bad decisions.
Ooh, God, look at them. They're so creepy. They won't stop staring at us.
You gonna let me buy you a drink?
Oh, yes.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me with that. Hang
I had the strangest dream.
I had a similar dream. I had the same dream.
They took that life-size gold statue. What do you mean there is no gold statue? What the hell happened last night?
This is the golden statue. Born from a very dark place. It feels jealousy, anger, resentment. She chose you.
Everything about this just screams, get the hell out.
She's what we made her. She cannot be stopped.
These rituals are real to them. I killed someone.
It had to be done.
Mr. Moon Man, shine your light on me.
A serial killer.
Hey, Mr. Moon Man, shine on me.
You think he looks for his victims in churches?
What happened?
Let me go.
Where is she, Paul?
For the first time in my life, I felt something.
All right, well, welcome back. We are here with Russell Jeffrey Banks, who's been telling us about his new film, Who's Watching Oliver, and some of his past works. You were mentioning you had a lot of fun when you were filming your first role. Is it always that fun? Yeah, is it always that fun?
No, this one wasn't. And that's not in a bad way. It just sucked. It was like me, Richie, Ray. Yeah, it was a hard one. This one fucked me up. Like, it was after Ghost House, I went back to study like method acting for 6 months, and then so I was just so trying to get into the character and get into the mindset. And then when I came back to shoot, when I flew back to Thailand because I'd gone back to study in London, I flew back broke. I was broke as so broke. So I had to stay in the basement of the house where we were shooting, which the house which is Mama's house. No, the house where I'm killing is actually Richie's old house. He was living there, the director. So I was crashing in the basement, and then we were shooting all day, and it was a small crew. Like, it was, so we'd shoot for like 12, 13, 14 hours, and then then it was me, Ray, and Richie scrubbing the floors and cleaning it up, all the blood, and yeah, it was horrible. And then learning lines, and yeah, I was just in this little basement, getting fucked up, trying to get into character, trying to think of everything bad that's ever happened to me, trying to make it real. And it was hard. It was a hard one. After I was saying before, I used to get panic attacks years ago, which I'd got under control. And yeah, this film, it fucked me up a bit. Started getting them back again after. So yeah, it was a tough one mentally. And it was for everyone. It was for Ray and for Richie. After we finished, we all went our separate ways for a while before we spoke. Yeah.
I've often wondered, filming some of those, well, I mean, I've watched them, of course, but being the actor actually doing it, like the dude in a Serbian film or something, what that must do to a person's psyche.
Horrible. Because, the problem is, it's like, the first scene with Kelly, the tattooed girl, Kelly Woodcock, she was amazing as well. But, if you're acting, you go all in, or else you're not acting. Then was
that a pun, Russell?
No, Jesus. No, not at all. I mean, mentally, Jesus. Wow.
Actually, there was a moment when you talked about when you're all in and everything. There's a scene in it. I think you do a bit of spittle comes out of your mouth in these moments and everything. And I was told by an acting teacher years ago, he said, when you're in a scene and you actually throw a bit of spittle in the scene, you are there. You are there at the moment. Right there.
Oh, that was I know the scene what you're talking about. I think I do the one where I haven't taken my pills.
Yeah.
That one was very little dialogue in script for that. Very little, and didn't rehearse that one at all. We just went, and everything that had built up, I let go at that moment. And it was funny because Aki, the like the other producer, investor, producer, Japanese guy, he was on set, and he came up to watch those scenes, and then after he said to Ray, he goes, "Oh, bad film." But that one, I knew that was the scene where it all lit out, and I was holding in so I let it out, and that one was very as real as it comes for me as a human hurting, not feeling good.
Yeah.
That's as close as.
Did you have any bloopers on the set? Anything that all of a sudden went wrong that was kind of funny or something?
Stuff that went wrong, yeah.
Stuff that you use, like
you
open a door and the doorknob comes off or something.
Oh, a million times. Do you know what? Like, there's a million, and then we had the cat, and there's a million funny things and behind the scenes. But do you know what? Like, I probably didn't appreciate it so much because I was just. It was fucking dark, man, and it really it's so hard to explain because everybody says, oh yeah, but this one was a dark, real dark, and it was funny because when Sophia the daytime stuff, we shot that separately, so we'd shot most of the dark stuff, then we had that, and then we went back to the dark stuff, and fuck, I needed it so much because I was on breaking point. Oh, and then she came and she was already a friend, and then we're outside and we're not doing night shoots now, we're doing days, and it was just like and then everybody relaxed for a bit while we went and shot that, and then we went back to this, and like that house after Richie moved, right? It's just fucking sucked. Do you know when something's got the energy, bad energy already, and that house had it, and it's just nobody enjoyed that. It wasn't a fun process for anybody. I mean, I enjoy working, of course. Like if you're working, it's good, but you know what I mean. Just as a general, it was a tiring, long. Wasn't. But there was some fun times, but the bad times outweighed the fun on that one.
What was the first scene you shot for that? The first
scene we shot. Which wasn't me, that was Mama. First scenes was Mama, but I was in the room with why they shot that. And then the first scenes with me, I think the first scenes was stuff, everyday stuff, movement stuff, just to really start getting the movements down and like making the bed and little things just to really go into it. And then to try and and then the talk, and it was hard because a lot of the movements, like the whole film, it's very rigid, and I'd find at the end of and I'd have my jaw out all the time, and really it was getting really sore by the end. It was nuts, that film, and but it was good. And Richie obviously was the camera, like he was director, but he also was shooting himself. And he was great. He's done a camera we met years ago on other films. We were old friends. Like I met him on set on Hangover, Ridley Scott Nomad's pilot back in the day, and different things. So
How many days principal photography did you have?
I think we went over. I think it was about 5 weeks in the end. 5. I'm not even sure. I know we went over quite a lot more than we thought we would.
Right. So the film's distribution.
Gravitas. Yeah.
Right.
And then we released July 3rd, North America. I think it's going to be releasing Amazon, Google Play, Badoo, iTunes. No, I'm forgetting some now. Jesus. And some other platforms.
It's a toughie, It's the streaming platforms.
Are you on that? What is it? That American one, the horror channel or something?
Shudder?
I'll be really honest. I'm not even sure myself. I know we released July 3rd, and I don't know. Ray and Gravitas, they know more than me. I'm just like nervous, hoping people will like it.
Oh, I'm sure. Thank you. It's a tough sledding right now, though, for distribution, because like even Amazon Prime, it was 16 cents per hour.
Yeah,
and they cut it down to 6.
Yeah,
they're raping the independent filmmaker.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. And this is what we was talking about earlier. We've been really lucky, really lucky that the horror community, like you mentioned, Meredith. Meredith, she's been just absolute amazing. She's put me in touch with so many people. She was one of the first people to review us. Meredith Bogart Brown, and but then everybody's would be fucked about them. It's that simple. If the horror community hadn't have got behind us, there's no way we'd be releasing like this for sure. It was at the festivals. We had our festival run. We won. I think we won 11 or 12 best feature, and yeah, the horror people. It was like spreading. People kept passing us to another place. Word of mouth. People are sharing us. Same like you see like the YouTube now on our trailer. It's about on one of the trailers is 6 million, but altogether it's like 15 million. And for an independent film, that's just the horror guys sharing it around. They've had our back, and Jesus, I appreciate that, because we'd be screwed. Yeah.
So were there ever any plans to try to release the film theatrically? Are you aware of that? Or
fingers crossed always. I think if you make a film, you'd always be praying on that. But
yeah, well, that's the problem with, again, it's a catch-22. You want the film to be seen.
It's also,
but the moment that you start showing it at festivals, major distributors just say, no.
Yeah,
Screen public.
Because of some of the content, like, obviously people are saying we're shocking in different parts, so that doesn't help for the cinema.
Is there different versions of it, like for the North American audience and the European audience?
Not sure. Yeah. Not sure. I know there's a lot cut out of the film. I know that there's so much footage. Like the original version that I originally watched was a lot longer, a hell of a lot longer. So there is a lot cut out, but I'm not sure about the final edits.
Can we expect to see director's cut one day, an extended cut?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some things popping out. Yeah. No, I hope so.
Are there some scenes that don't make the final cut that you would really like to see in there?
Do you know what? I'm not sure. I don't know what you said. Like, yeah, there's a few scenes that I'd like, but maybe that's just because I wrote them.
Well, yeah, things hit the cutting room floor for a reason, but
yeah. Jesse Maddox, he was doing the editing, and he really worked his magic with again Ray and Jesse. They worked together on the editing, but Jesse, he done the big edit, and yeah, he done an amazing job there.
Was there something that you shot in there that and then you went, you finish it and you go, that's a pile of shit, and then you see it in the editing room and you go, wow, that really worked.
Gosh, like I'm an actor. I think you get two types of actor. You get the ones who love themselves or the ones who hate themselves. So everything I do, I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Hate that. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not one for watching myself and enjoying watching me. I'm like cringed out and like.
So
lots of actors do that though. Lots of ones, they just can't handle themselves on the screen at all. They just walk.
No, I can't. I'm like, yeah, makes me crunch up inside.
I've been around a few actors who, when you're at a screening of a film that they haven't watched in 20 years, and what did you think of your performance?
I'll tell you something funny at the my Dead of the Night festival. Stu Jopia, I don't know if you know this guy. He does a lot of the horror stuff, especially in the UK. Great guy. Mm-hmm. But the only time I've watched Oliver on the big screen was at his festival. So I'm sat there at the back of the room, absolutely shitting myself because we're about to watch this. And just as we're about to start, a father walks in with his daughter, who was about 12 years old, and they sit right in front of me because I'm right at the back. And I'm sat there, and I know exactly what's happening, the bad scenes. And I'm sat there thinking, oh my God, why? Why would you bring your kid to this? Please, no. Yeah, so I died a little that day.
I had that actually
Did they
happen
enjoy it?
No, he left.
Did they run
After the first long scene with Kelly, the first kill, it's an intense one. So yeah, he realised that it wasn't the smartest idea to be taking it.
No, I actually had that happen to me. Somebody walked into the screening of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, I love that film. Which one, the Swedish or the American version?
The American version.
Yeah.
And they walked in, and it was like this father brought his 2 little girls to see this, and I'm thinking, this is not a place for you. You should read the poster, lad. He walked out in about 4 minutes.
Although I did, when I would have been about 11 or 12, and my dad took me to watch Schindler's List, which I was young, but I love that film. It's still one of my favourite films, yeah. Mm-hmm. But then I was allowed to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Exorcist before I can ever remember, so. Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
I got to see, this is going to age me terribly, but I got to see The Godfather in the theater when I was 12 at the time.
It's one of my all-time favourite films.
Mm-hmm.
I watched The Godfather 3 days ago again.
Really?
Yeah, there's certain things that I can just watch over and over, like The Shining, Godfather, million films, but there's certain ones which I can just sit down and watch any time. And The Godfather and The Sopranos. Any episode of The Sopranos I've probably watched about 8 or 9 times.
Oh yeah.
Great series.
That was such a groundbreaking show, and there's people that complained about it, saying it was just the Goodfellas movie done on TV. And I'm going, no, it's completely different.
I still, do you know, it's funny, like when you watch with James Gandolfini, just unbelievable. Still makes me sad that he's dead, just because I love watching him. Same with him and Philip Seymour Hoffman. They're my favourites, portraying like sadness, and it's brilliant. Just brilliant.
Speaking of UK
film happiness,
Gary Oldman too.
Love Gary Oldman. Yeah.
And he had his early career when he was a little bit, shall we say, pumped up for some of his roles on set. Now he's sort of stabilized a little bit. I saw him on the Academy Awards when he said he was getting married and everything, and
No, I love him. And Alan Rickman. Loved Alan Rickman. Amazing. Loads of love Tom Hardy as well. Tom Hardy at the moment is smashing it.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
Vicky McClure, she's an English actress. Have you ever watched any of Shane Meadows' work?
No, I was going to say, you're mentioning a lot of American films, but are there any British films that you would recommend?
I would,
cinephile?
Definitely. I would watch anything from Shane Meadows, but I'd watch. There's a movie called This Is England, and then watch that movie first, and then there's a TV series with all the same cast. What follows that called This Is England 1986. Then 2 years later, they made This England 88, and then they made This Is England 90. And it follows these same group together, and they're unbelievable. The acting in that show, William Turgois, I think he's done quite a few American films. He played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. He's unbelievable in that show.
Great. That is such a great show, that one.
Yeah. Amazing.
There's some synchronicity happening too, because you mentioned Gandolfini and you mentioned Gary Oldman, and I was just speaking with a friend of mine about True Romance.
Oh, I love it.
So it's such a stellar cast.
The whole scene with Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's classic.
Sicilian, it's just great. I love it. Love that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were discussing Tarantino at the time, and his screenplays, and
amazing.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What do you have coming down the pipe?
Doing a swinging comedy of the 60s or something.
Yeah, maybe. No, honestly, don't know. Don't know. I'm always looking for the. I've just moved back to England. I've been based out in Thailand. Just moved back about a month ago. Just signed with a new management team in London. So fingers crossed something. But I don't know. No idea.
Just looking at your face too right now, and some of the things I've seen on camera, you could play a young Pete Townsend, right? You know,
love to.
You know, do that. You got the body shape for him and everything. You know, that would be really cool. You know, like a who.
I tell you another film quickly, just because it's just popped into my head. Because you like gangster films, I can hear. Yeah. Watch Gangster #1 with Paul Bettany. And Paul Bettany. This film is my favourite film from him. It's a 1960s gangster film, and he plays this whole gangster, which is so unlike his other work. It's amazing. It's such a great film, set in the 60s, and it's real stylish gangster movie. Yeah. Really great.
What about the Krays? The Kray brothers or something. And Terrence Stamp, you know, which I haven't done in a while, you know. And
there's been two different films. They did the original film was Martin Camp and Gary Camp, who were out of Spandau Ballet. But then they done the Tom Hardy one, which he's great. Like I like him in Bronson. And then he did the film with The Drop. Did you ever see that? No. With James Gandolfini, one of James Gandolfini's last films, right? Yeah. Yes. Yep. Great character. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah. One time when we're not doing something publicly here, I'll tell you some stories about Tom Hardy when he was here shooting The Revenant.
Yeah. Oh, tell me. I love those. Yeah, I love that film. They shot that whole film without using light, right? It was natural light.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and really highlighted, you know, Alberta, the province where we live, and it was largely shot in the Calgary area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know,
right.
So it's, you know, yeah. Yeah,
not
so
all winter desolation, you know, like as that, you know, but
yeah, as the Americans would have you believe.
Yeah.
But, so where can one look up your work, find you besides IMDb?
Yeah, so you can. For Who's Watching Oliver, we have a Facebook page, which all the news is on there, and that's just type in Who's Watching Oliver. I have a Facebook page, just Russell Jeffrey Banks, my full name. And then, I think that's Twitter, but I don't really, I'm rarely use it. But yeah, more just Facebook. Facebook's on my Facebook page is the place where I'm active. Yeah, I'm terrible with technology.
Is there an official website for Oliver? Or?
No, we just have the Facebook page. A lot of the traffic just goes through there.
Yeah.
But no website. And then, we released July 3rd. North America, Canada, yeah.
Good.
So what are you doing after we're done the interview? Are you heading out somewhere, or?
No, I'm just, like I say, I'm crashing at my brother's at the moment, so I should just go and hang out with him.
Yeah.
Probably watch a movie.
Do you ever get recognized on the street?
Nope, never. Nope.
Well, that could be a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you can be able to do things properly and everything, and not have to people skulking in the shadows behind you or something.
Yeah, I haven't done enough to be recognised yet, have I? You know, I think that comes when you start smashing it.
Yeah.
Does it ever tempt you to try your hand at Los Angeles, or?
No, yeah, definitely. I'm thinking about it for later this year. I'm not sure.
You know, because I noticed some of your co-stars are getting some level of success. Like Jackie Moore was on Westworld, the series, and
same James Landry Herbert. He's been smashing it. You should speak to him sometime. Have him on the show. He's great. He did. He's just got a new film. Something Carter. I can't remember the name now. Jesus, my head. But he did that Carnage Park. He was great in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he's been smashing it, and then he's been doing the Taken TV show. So, he's a cool dude. And then Scout, she's got her new film, Feral, new horror film just about to release. Different friends. Good. They're smashing it, yeah. I'm happy, man. I'm glad they're doing well. They deserve it. cool, real cool people, man.
Well, hard work does pay off,
Yeah.
and as we know, I mean, it's mostly luck in this industry. There's a lot of luck involved,
Do you know? Yeah, yes, I
timing
know.
and luck.
Yeah, I know. But do you know what? Like, see, I have a different opinion on that because, fuck, like the people who I see who doing well now, I saw them doing shit for a long time, and it was their hard work, man, and they smashed it. It's like different friends, like Conan Stevens, a friend that he played the Mountain in season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And,
Yep.
he was in Bangkok before, and then Byron Gibson, he's out of Holy God Forgives, and he's done a load of stuff lately, like been smashing it, but just fucking hard work, man. They're smashing and they're learning, and yeah, so I don't know. I that's what I look when I'm looking at people. I'm like, fuck. I keep swearing, Jesus. Sorry.
Well, anybody can give up,
Yeah. Yes, but it's good motivation when you see people doing well because they're putting their head down and they're really, working hard.
Is there a role that you would like to play?
There's a million roles I'd like to play.
Is you got a favorite right now that says, I can, with some work and doing this and something that would really make your day?
Do you know what? There's so many different, not one particular role as such, but fuck, I'm a film fan. So, I watch films. I watch anything like we're talking about Al Pacino or gangster stuff. I watch that stuff and I'm like, I watch The Sopranos and it doesn't mean like, Jesus, my American accent sucks at the moment, but that type of writing, when you watch that, I appreciate good written work. Yeah. And like David Chase, he wrote that and it's amazing. So when you watch them like Shane Meadows, anything with Shane Meadows, it's just, that type of gritty drama, thriller. I like that, man. I like going deep and dark.
You should do the old film noir then, but film noir, you're going back, with stuff like Born to Kill, all of these.
Love all that. Do you know what? I grew up on James Cagney films. My dad used to show me the James Cagney films when I was a kid, and all the old Humphrey Bogart movies. I love it.
Yeah.
I love cheese as well, man. Even Patrick Swayze, he's one of my favorites when I watch his stuff as well.
He is the wind,
Yeah.
You should play that song.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like the wind.
Roadhouse is one of my secret treasures. I can watch.
Do you know even Dirty Dancing, man? I admit it. I used to make out that I didn't like that. I can love that film.
Yeah,
love it.
It's good. And nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yeah, that's the one. And Bodhi, what's the one Keanu Reeves? Love that. Love his lines. Point Break.
Point Break, yeah. The FBI film, yeah.
Yeah, but Bodhi, like Patrick Swayze, he just smashes that role. He's great in it.
Should do a remake of Dirty Dancing and call it Bloody Dancing or something.
Yeah.
We're going to make a remake of Dirty Dancing.
Nobody makes
They did.
They
did, and it was terrible. It was a made-for-TV thing, and it was just leave it alone, man. There's so many films which they go back and just don't need to. Just go and watch the original. Appreciate what somebody's fucking great has done there.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody tried to remake Ben-Hur as well.
Yeah.
Television series and as a film. And
they do it like The Shine, and they did a remake of that, right?
For television, yeah.
Yeah.
Which stuck a little closer to King's novel, but
I tell you, a Canadian actor that I like was Roy Dupas. Is he still doing a lot?
I believe let me just see.
Yeah, take a look.
I always thought that he was a cool cat. I liked I liked La Femme Nikita when they made that with Patty Wilson, wasn't it? Patty Wilson. That was great. But he did that film with Vincent Cassel, the French.
Our horror guys like Cronenberg and everything, they've gone to LA and stuff. And I don't know too much, the independent scene is pretty tough. I guess it might be a little different over there, over in the UK and stuff and everything. Because I've seen a lot of stuff from Ireland too and Scotland. You know, things
I
like.
tell you another show that anybody should watch, and so many of my friends have never seen it. It's an Irish show called Love Hate. It's a gangster show, and it's like, imagine a Sopranos type of feel in Ireland, and then it goes in with the IRA and in with gangster. Fuck, that's good. So good.
Yeah,
Such a
that was.
good. And Peaky Blinders as well. Anybody who hasn't seen that, watch Peaky Blinders. It's amazing.
Sopranos. I remember when the Sopranos did, or not the Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy did
Yeah.
that whole season in Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, maybe they didn't shoot in Ireland. They must have shot for a bit, but that whole
Rich Ragsdale, the director of Ghost House, he worked on Sons of Anarchy because then it had again, I can't remember his name. Jesus, I met him, but I never shot scenes with him, so I get away with it. In Ghost House, the guy from Sons of Anarchy, he was acting in that as well. But my mind's blank.
Wasn't the Canadian Kim?
Guy with the long hair, similar hair, like yeah.
Oh,
It wasn't Kim Coates. It was.
There's the Elvis guy. There's the Elvis guy.
Has a real long.
He's a filmmaker. I know. He's one of the guys that was Jax's buddy, and he got killed, and he got killed in a prison, and Jax got to watch him die. And
Right.
But you look, I put you in touch with after the show. I put you in touch with Rich Ragsdale. You should chat with this dude. He's a real horror guy. He just, like I said, directed Ghost House, but he's got some mad stuff coming. And he's a real horror geek. He really
Oh, cool.
You speak to him forever about horror films, and he does a lot of the sound on it. Real big into sound and horror, and yeah, you should speak to that guy. He's a cool dude.
So to answer your question, yeah, Roy is acting. He completed a film called Barefoot at Dawn. That'll be released here, and he's going to be in a film called Hitchhiking in the Dark.
Nice.
So,
I liked his acting. I thought watching him, I thought he was cool, man. Good actor.
Yeah. There's a lot of them that largely play supporting roles throughout Hollywood and that sort of thing, but quite a large number. You know, there's a lot of successful Canadian actors, which, considering that we have such a small population, is.
Now, I've got a couple of friends from Canada. A stunt guy, Damien Mavis. He was based in Thailand, but I know he's back in Canada. He's doing a lot of different TV shows, doing the stunts on that.
It's probably
and he acts as well, but yeah.
Either in Toronto or Vancouver, one of the two, probably.
Yeah, I think he's Toronto. Yeah, I don't know, one of the two.
Yeah, Toronto's. Yeah, there are so many television series and are being shot in Vancouver and Toronto that, you know, keeping our crews here in Calgary is getting to be tough.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny that you mentioned about the Canadian actors, Jim. You know, like a lot of times they like our Canadian actors because the Americans like us because we're a combination of the British and the American actor. You know, so they like our sensibility for some reason, and you know, it's a wonder we don't have more out there. But the big behemoth machine that's south of the border kind of does their own thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's a big industry though in Canada, right? Real big industry.
Yeah, we have proper tax incentives and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Although occasionally you do see productions move back to Los Angeles simply because the actors don't want to be so far from home for extended lengths of time in a season. But that's about the only reason. You know,
I think the only thing too is we end up we have provinces do individual things. Jim can answer more about that than I can. With our provinces, they have different incentives, and that can be a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going, you know, from one place to the other place, and it's all different. So.
Yeah, and if the Alberta Film Minister is watching this, get your fucking shit together.
Yes, in a bucket, I'll bring it to you. You know?
No, we're losing productions because they've changed.
I'm trying to guess what your poster is, by the way. Is it Strike Back? What poster have you got in the background?
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I knew it. I was thinking that as well. I was like, Strike Back. Yeah, I can just see the bottom of the fist from my. I've been looking at it, trying to read it in the background.
Yeah, no, it's I've got Clerks in here as well, and
I love Clerks. Clerks, the original, such great, and the part 2 was good. But yeah, great.
yeah, and apparently there's not going to be a part 3.
Is there not?
No, Jeff Anderson refuses to play Randall. So
I just watched, but I didn't see it all. I saw Kevin Smith on the Joe Rogan thing the other day when he was talking, but I just skipped a few clips.
Yeah, I met Kevin and we discussed a few things. I was telling him, I'd be happy to be an associate producer and set him up here in Alberta, that kind of thing, and give him some weed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Face and Amy and Mallrats, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jersey Girl, not so much. I don't know if you've seen his latest Yoga Hosers. It was a little.
No, not seen that. Not seen that. I'm waiting to. What was the Broken Lizard one, which I want to see, but Super Troopers Part 2, different
Part
guy.
2. Yeah. Yeah. Part 2.
What was that one he did with his daughter? That he put his daughter in?
Yoga Hosers and
something Nazi hot dogs or something.
Yeah, Nazi hot dogs. Yeah.
No,
yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, I hope they were kosher or something like that.
No, the best part, and it's what's the one where the guy turns into Tusk?
Tusk.
Yeah, the best parts of it are Johnny Depp playing this French Canadian detective.
Yeah,
uncredited.
Wow.
But yeah. So anyway, we should probably wrap this up because we have 2 minutes left in the session. It's been a very, very pleasurable time to have you here, Russell.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me on. Very much appreciated.
And please, let us know future projects.
We'll do.
Come really, back on the show and.
Thank you. Thank you. Much really enjoyed being on here.
Thanks for putting up with
it. No, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And like I was saying about the horror community and people like yourself, without that, the film wouldn't have been we wouldn't have got the release what we're getting. So I appreciate anybody who's taken the time to write about us, to review us, or have me on there. It means the world to me. So very much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you again.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Be safe and be at peace.
Thank you.